just to make it plain for people that might say, well, I have my check-in with pastor. Isn't that the same thing? Can you kind of just make a blanket statement of, you've already kind of touched on it, but
well, that means they didn't hear, Cherie. One semester. I know two. I'm gonna help you in two ways, little and none. One semester. So no, that's a good point. Let me tell you what I do, Cherie. Here, so for everybody to know. So when someone says they need to meet with me and it's for counseling, I'm very upfront with them, very upfront, that what I'm going to offer is it's called pastoral biblical counseling. And what I'm gonna commit to is about 2 or 3 sessions. And during that time, I'm gonna assess. Now, I am skilled enough. What I did get from that one semester is I know how to assess. I know how to assess when I'm in over my head. If there's anything, Dr. Peisner, that was my professor in counseling. Matter of fact, Cherie, APU, did you have, so he left Talbot to become a professor at APU, Dr. Peisner. Yeah, so he was my professor in pastoral counseling. He left Talbot to go to APU, and I know that's where you did your work. But the one thing he did teach me is how to know when you in over your head. So I'm gonna commit to about 3 sessions, and during that time, I'm gonna make the decision if this is beyond biblical counseling, and I am going to refer out to one of you or somebody else in my particular network that I do referrals for. So yeah, come see me. I'm okay with that. I'm here for that. But it's going to be biblical counseling. You're going to get about 2 or 3 sessions, and then I'm gonna make a decision if I can only go so far with you based upon the conversation. And if I say, okay, you know what, I can do 2 more sessions, and I think, biblically we can get somewhere, then I may do that. But for the most part, I'm usually committing to 3 sessions of biblical counseling, and during that time, I'm going to make an assessment of whether or not I need to refer out. So that's all. So for those, to answer your question, Cherie, who said, well, I can get my check-in with pastor. Yeah, like I said, I'm really kind of just assessing and doing some biblical counseling, but you may need more than what I can offer.
Which is still very, very insightful. And I'm glad people are even doing that,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I do think it is important to kind of make that distinction, because many people will just kind of say, count that as, their therapy, session. Chris, I don't know if you have another question, but I know we're looking at the time. I was going to kind of segue into the perfect, you kind of touched on the referral process, right? And so it could literally look like that. If somebody is struggling with some type of mental health or emotional challenge, they talk to you, and if you feel like, hey, you might need a little more support, you can make a referral to the Bridge Ministry. Now, to make a clear distinction of what the Bridge Ministry is and is not at this point.
Sure.
Right now, I know you mentioned making a referral to Crystal or I. So a referral would look like you guys connecting to us and we linking you to community resources. Right now, we are not equipped and don't have the capacity as a church to do one-on-one therapy sessions. Specifically why we said emotional health. We are not.
Go ahead.
Right, but right now though, I know. Okay.
Yeah. You know where my head is. You know where I'm going.
You definitely touch on that, but just wanted to make that clear so people aren't thinking that we are going to be their therapist. That is not what we are set up for right now. And so our part for the Bridge is to help connect you with community resources. We can support you. We have a grief and loss support group coming through. Hopefully a Celebrate to Recovery for those that may be struggling with some type of addiction. But again, we can support you on your journey to that, but we are not going to be able at this time to sign up as anybody's personal one-on-one therapist.
Absolutely, and when I was saying refer to you, I was looking at you kind of as a representative of the therapist community. So it was the plural you. I've got a network of counselors that I refer out to, but I know that you probably have even a broader network. So I love the idea of me, referring to you guys to you. Seriously, to begin to think about raising up another generation of Christian therapists, because I think we need them. Build your team, build an army. I'm serious, guys. Build an army. Find young people. That's what our ministry is supposed to be about as it pertains to our young people. You guys heard me talk about the 7 mountains of influence and how we're raising up young people to go and penetrate those mountains. I think this is an area that we could raise up some young people, mentor them, and wow, what a great testament for you guys to watch someone cross the stage with a degree and help them get licensed and do the same path, and then launch them to do the kind of work that you're doing. So I know I just see big. I see big, probably way more. I'm sure you're saying, Pastor, you put way more on us than what we. I see big, and so I appreciate you guys, and let's do this. You got a full partner in me.
Well, yes, thank you so much for entrusting us with that vision, and just, being supportive through all the different challenges that we've had along the way. And just, you have been a great advocate. And so again, we just thank you for just taking the time this evening to sit down and talk with us and share with the people, your people, what your vision is for the house and for the community. And we are excited for the work. We're excited. Crystal, anything?
I have nothing else.
Any last words, Pastor?
Let's go do it. Let's circle back to where I started. Let's introduce the transformed life to the unbeliever. Let's come alongside the believer and show them how to live the transformed life. And let's do the work that you're doing through your ministry by doing our best to remove any emotional barriers that keep them from living it out fully. Let's do it.